Hey, what's up, guys? Run a Bunch here, bringing you another installment of the most under the radar sports betting, sports talk show on YouTube. Guys, let's go ahead and get right into the slate today. Today is Wednesday, March 24th. There's a lot of non-collegiate sports to be played today. I have some picks for those. I even have a college basketball pick tonight, which is the only game tonight. So guys, let's go ahead and get right into the show. So my first pick tonight, I'm going to go ahead and get the NCAA basketball pick out of the way. Let's go ahead and see here. All right, guys, so my first pick of the day, my only NCAA basketball pick tonight is the Pepperdine Waves -4 versus the Coastal Carolina. I think it's Chanticleers, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. It's a bird. I don't know. Our reasoning for this, so it doesn't actually show here. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't show here. But Pepperdine, they're 14-12 on the season, but they are actually 16-7-1 against the spread, which tells me that they've lost a lot of close games, and they've also won their games they're favored by, by a fair margin. Coastal Carolina, 18-7 overall, which is a much better overall record, but they're just an average 10-11 against the spread, which tells me they're not a very good against the spread team. And Pepperdine, to me, they just play in a much harder West Coast conference, and they've gone head-to-head, toe-to-toe with some really good teams this season. I think they split 1-1 with San Diego State. I could be wrong, but they played them close in both games. BYU, they went 1-2. And one of those losses was an overtime loss away, so they could have very well been 2-1 against BYU. Both those teams were 6 seeds in the actual NCAA tournament this past week, and they lost to Gonzaga twice, but everyone has lost to Gonzaga. No one's beaten Gonzaga. That was a double-digit loss, but, they played them. I think it was like a 15-point loss, but honestly, that's the number one team in the country. That's not bad. And they even went in a triple overtime loss against UCLA earlier back in, December, which, to me, UCLA is an 11th seed that beat a 6th seed BYU and is, were on their way to a Sweet 16, but they got beat in the second round. But that's still a very good team. That's another tournament team that they've played toe-to-toe with. I just think Pepperdine's a much more, battled team this season, and I just feel really good about this -4. I think they're a good spot. They're not favored very often. They haven't been favored very much this season, but they've managed to win 14 games and only lose 12, despite playing all those talented teams. BYU, San Diego State, Gonzaga, UCLA. That's probably 7 of their 12 losses right there. So that's really not bad. I think that their record is a little bit over, evaluated, I would say. I think people are kind of doubting them because of their record overall, but I think that you should be a little bit more lenient towards them. Most places, it seems like some places are moving about +4.5 for Coastal Carolina here. I would probably try to get somewhere to take it at -4, but I would also, 4.5's not bad either, honestly. I would take this probably up to about 5 or 5.5, so I would get on that kind of quick. But yeah, this game's tonight at 8 p.m., guys, so make sure to get on that. So we're going to go ahead and moving on here. Next, I'm going to go to the NHL. All right, guys, so my one and only NHL. Oh, actually, this is wrong. I have two NHL picks tonight. My bad. I read my notes wrong. So my first pick is the Minnesota Wild -1.5 versus the Anaheim Ducks. Now, a lot of my reasoning for this, so as you can see here, the Wild are 19-10-1, which is a very solid record. They're one of the best teams in their division. And Anaheim here is 9-18-6, which is one of the worst in their division. Minnesota has been on quite the hot streak lately. They've been winning a lot of their games. And Anaheim has been trending in the opposite direction. I just feel like this game tonight, is going to be quite the blowout. And I've bet on this show with Minnesota beating teams by multiple scores once or twice already in the show, and it has typically worked out in our favor. So I feel really good about doing it again, honestly. And Anaheim's a team that we've bet against before. A team that we've bet against before, and it's worked out. So this is kind of a nice matchup for us, I feel like. Honestly, I would go money line, but as you can see here, the money line is at minus 250 is the best line you can possibly get, which honestly is not a very good line. So, I mean, the spread here, minus 1.5, is definitely the much better value, and I think it makes the most sense for you guys to take tonight. So that is my pick there. And then also, my second pick tonight is the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres to go under 6 goals. Now, this has moved a little bit in a sense that, I don't know. Some of these places actually still have been going under 6, but some places are going to the 5.5 line, and I think that's because people are starting to bet the under. Now, let's go to confirm this. Yeah, the under's got 54% of the tickets, so the public is taking the under in this scenario. Pittsburgh plays the under very well when they're at home. Most of their games at home this season have gone under, especially when even when they play bad teams, which, as you can see here, Buffalo is a very bad team, 6-20-4 against the Pittsburgh's record that's 19-11-2. The Sabres really, they just don't have any offense this season. They don't really have any go-to scorer, and I don't see them putting up. I think Pittsburgh definitely wins, and I don't see Buffalo putting up 3 points to make like a 4-3. I just don't see it. The highest score I see this game getting is 4-2, which would tie that under 6 number. So I don't know if I would take this 5.5 or not, but I would definitely go with the 6 for sure. The 5.5's a little iffy. If you're not feeling good about this under, I've never really done under in hockey before. The under in the NBA has worked very well for me, but honestly, I would also recommend the minus 1.5 on Pittsburgh as well if you're feeling good, because I do think Pittsburgh wins this game by a goal or 2. But my better recommendation would be the under in the 6. But if you guys don't really feel like betting on the total, I would also recommend the minus 1.5. Or, if you really don't want to make as much value on your dollar, here's the money line odds at minus 265. But yeah, guys, that's my NHL picks for this evening. So moving on, we're going to go to the NBA. NBA is going to be my last place of picking for today. All right, guys, my first NBA pick for this evening is the Denver Nuggets minus 3 at the Toronto Raptors. Now, I've had some back and forth, but this is going to be my lock of the day, or my lock of the night, whatever you want to call it, for tonight. This game starts at 7:30. Also, just real quick, that Minnesota Wild game's at 5:30, so if you guys can get on that, get on that. If you can't, I'm sorry that I couldn't get this video out sooner for you guys to see it in time. But yeah, this game's at 7:30. So my reasoning for this pick, both teams fairly similar against the spread, but as you can see here, kind of have opposite records. Denver's 26-17 is Toronto's 17-26. Now, Toronto has lost a lot of their games recently. That's why the 17-26 is important. Toronto has not won a game since February. Now, I don't know how many games they've played in March off the top of my head, but you got to think we're already almost through March, so it's got to be at least 7 or 8 games. So at one point, they were right around 500, and they've lost 7 or 8 games since. Now, this spread actually started out at +2 for Denver, but it slowly moved in Denver's direction all the way to -3, which tells me that the Sharps have really bet on Denver. And it also tells me that the public likes Denver, which is actually interesting because the -3 is at 50-50 right now, but I'm sure, the line has moved, so people beforehand were betting on Denver. But I would definitely, I recommend the -3 because Denver, I think because they played last night, I think people are thinking that they won't come out as, they'll be tired, they won't be as rested as Toronto. But to me, Toronto just seems to be in shambles. Like I said, they haven't won a game in March. And, there's a lot of trade rumors right now going on. I think I've heard that the Lakers are in contention for Kyle Lowry, which is a very interesting pickup for them. But I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto, in the wake of all these rumors, sits Kyle Lowry or sits, Pascal Siakam, someone like that, especially if they're in trade rumors and they don't want any injuries happening to, deafen that trade from happening. But, I feel like that is a risk that you kind of have to take. And I would definitely trend in favor of Denver, who, has arguably one of the best players this season in Jokic, their star center. I mean, he's arguably the MVP this season. I mean, you don't really know yet, but he's quieted down a little bit since, like January, but he's still putting up crazy numbers, and I think this team's starting to click. So I would definitely favor Denver in this situation. All right, guys. So my last pick of today is the Brooklyn Nets plus 10.5 versus the Utah Jazz. Now, my reasoning for this, so as you can see, both teams have similar records. Utah's kind of slipped up a little bit in the last week or two in terms of having the best record, that kind of thing. But in my personal opinion, Utah kind of screwed me over against the spread the last time I picked them. And Brooklyn has been such a wagon for me this season that I almost have to ride with them. Even though Kyrie's out and Kevin Durant is out and James Harden is day to day, I would expect James Harden to play tonight. And, even without Kyrie and without Kevin Durant, this team's been very solid. And I don't see them winning tonight because the Jazz are very good. And, I've only had 2 losses on the season at home all season. So Utah is a very solid team. But I just don't see, Brooklyn, people are questioning whether they're a super team or not. I think, to me, they would be considered a super team. And even though they're missing 2 of those stars, I would almost say at this point, with Kevin Durant being sidelined for so long, that this is James Harden's team. And he's the one out there still playing. They got Blake Griffin. They got DeAndre Jordan. They have a ton of nice role players. Joe Harris, trying to think Shemet's his last name, but they just have a lot of solid guys that I feel that they can pick up the slack enough to keep it within a double-digit game, or at least keep it in a single-digit game. Sorry, not lose by double digits. So the 10.5 is a very intriguing number to me. I know this has moved some in favor of Utah, which is I have a hard time taking a team that is favored by double digits. I think, especially in the NBA, your chances of winning that against the spread when it's double digits goes down tremendously. So I like Brooklyn to cover in this situation. It actually seems like people are 50-50, which makes sense. It's about a 50-50 pick, but honestly, I trust Brooklyn. Brooklyn has also been a wagon in terms of against the spread this season. They're both very good teams against the spread, though Utah's not typically favored by double digits. So I just don't feel comfortable with that. Brooklyn as an underdog this season has been absolutely lights out, and I'm going to ride with that. Real quick here, I actually just want to see the total on this game. 230. Wow. That's nuts. 50-50 on the over-under. Yeah, I thought about taking the over in this game, but without Kyrie, I'm not as confident, so I like the spread a lot better. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for my picks today. Just to quickly wrap things up and give a quick recap of what happened on Monday. We went 1-2. I really thought, this is obviously just sports betting for you, but, you think your picks are really solid. But I think from what happened over the weekend, we just got a little bit too sold on the underdog bit. And, Creighton and Michigan proved us wrong. Obviously, Michigan's a good team. I just kind of thought LSU and Ohio kind of had that hot streak. So, it just kind of is what it is. I will say, I believe I'm still undefeated in NBA unders. I think I'm 3-0 in picking the NBA unders, so that's an interesting stat. That's something I don't really do often, so that's different. But yeah, OKC and Who did they play? Might have been Indiana. Yeah, I don't remember. It was OKC. I remember that. Maybe Indiana, but actually, let me go back and look that up real quick. Oh no, it was Minnesota. 226.5. Yeah, I think they just got it, but still counts. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah, guys, the lock of the day is now 6 and 7. Keeps teetering around, that 500 area, which I would rather my lock of the day, something that I'm confident in, to be more, over 500. But, sometimes that's sports betting. The most confident picks don't go well. And a lot of times it feels to me like the less confident I am in a pick, the better it ends up going. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys should start fading my lock of the day. I don't know. But we'll see. Hopefully we can get that back to 500 after tonight with the Denver Nuggets. Hopefully that changes our, trending direction in terms of that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the show today. Just going to wrap it up real quick. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe to, get all the notifications for when these videos come out. I am trying to get back on a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Went a little bit crazy for March Madness, but it's not very often you get so many games like that to call on for March Madness, and everyone kind of gets involved. That's one of the biggest months of sports betting in the entire year, so I figured that make a few more videos here and there. But yeah, guys, pretty much back to a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure to subscribe to get all notifications for when these videos come out. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time, all you sports bettors and sports fanatics, and cue the outro.